Hello friends, this is not just a story about snakes and a village. It is about something deeper, the power of vision, the strength of community, and the courage to turn danger into opportunity. Every society faces its own snakes problems that look too big, too dangerous, too impossible to solve. Some people run from them, some fight blindly against them, but a few rare leaders stop, think, and ask, how can this challenge become our strength? It is the story of Saro. Saro was a village surrounded by deep forests and tall mountains. Two strangers. It looked peaceful, and beautiful birds sang in the morning. The air smelled of fresh leaves, and the rivers sparkled in the sun. But behind this beauty, there was fear. The people of Saro lived in constant danger. Their enemy was not another tribe, nor wild lions. It was the pythons. The snakes were huge, silent, and deadly at night. They would crawl near homes sometimes. Livestock disappeared sometimes. Even people, children, were not allowed to play near the forest. Farmers worked in groups, always looking over their shoulders. Every year, many lives were lost. The government sent soldiers once or twice, but the problem never ended. The villagers tried to kill the snakes, but there were too many. Fear became part of daily life. Mothers prayed every night that their children would return home safe. At that time, Ibrahim Traoré was a young military officer. He was not very high in rank, but he was different from many others. He had sharp eyes, a calm voice, and a mind always asking questions. When Ibrahim heard about the crisis in Saro, he did not think only as a soldier. He thought as a problem solver. He said to his fellow officers, "If we only kill snakes, they will return. If we only chase them, they will hide and come again. We need a lasting answer." The government asked Ibrahim to visit the village. When he arrived, people looked at him with hope. Children held their mothers' hands tightly. Old men shook their heads, saying, "We have seen soldiers before. Nothing changes." But Ibrahim did not promise quick magic. He listened. He sat with farmers, with women, with hunters. He asked questions. When do the snakes appear? Where do they hide? What do you fear the most? By the end of the week, he had an idea. Ibrahim researched deeply. He spoke to wildlife experts, read reports, and even examined python skins. What he discovered shocked him. Python skins were highly demanded in the fashion industry. Expensive handbags, shoes, and belts were made from them. Rich people in big cities paid thousands of dollars for a single bag. And because of this demand, illegal hunting had spread like fire. The pythons were not just attacking by chance. Their natural balance was broken. Forests were shrinking, food was less, and hunters chased them everywhere. Ibrahim realized something important. The problem is not only snakes. The problem is people's hunger and the world's greed. If we do not fix both, nothing will change. First, Ibrahim had to win the trust of the villagers. They were tired of promises, so he showed action. He formed night patrol squads made of young men and women with simple lamps and whistles. They walked through the village at night. If they saw a python, they reported quickly. Instead of panicking, he built safe playgrounds for children, fenced and well lit, so mothers could finally breathe in peace. And he set strict rules for entering the forest. No one was allowed to go alone. Signs were placed at the borders. Enter in groups. Respect the forest. Stay safe. Slowly, fear began to lessen. For the first time in years, people felt someone was truly protecting them. Next, Ibrahim invited wildlife experts, scientists, and even some people from biotech companies together. They created a plan with 3 strong pillars. Dangerous areas were turned into python sanctuaries. These zones became safe spaces where snakes lived naturally without threatening humans. Local guards were trained to monitor and protect both snakes and people. Hunting was strictly banned, and heavy monitoring began. Ibrahim knew hunger was also a snake. If villagers had no money, they would secretly hunt. So he gave them new opportunities. Some were trained as forest guides for eco-tourist. Women learned to make handicrafts inspired by python patterns, but using cloth and paint. The government offered microloans so small businesses could grow now. You do not need to kill snakes. Ibrahim told them, you can feed your families with safer, better work. This was the most innovative step. Ibrahim connected with biotech researchers who developed lab-grown bioleather. It looked and felt like python skin, but no snake was harmed. Major fashion brands showed interest. One famous brand, Knockin', agreed to use this material if it carried a certificate of honesty, proof that it was cruelty-free. Villagers could hardly believe it. Their biggest enemy was now the reason for new jobs, new respect, and new hope. Months passed. Slowly, the changes became visible. The number of python attacks fell sharply. Legal hunting almost disappeared. Villagers earned money from tourism. Guiding and craftwork children slept peacefully at night. One evening, under a wide sky full of stars, the chief of the village said to Ibrahim, "You have done what we thought impossible. You turned danger into opportunity. You gave us back our lives." Ibrahim smiled and replied, "I did not do it alone. We did it together. The people, the scientists, and the forest itself." The story of Saro spread to other villages and even other countries. Leaders came to see this miracle, a place where humans and snakes lived in balance, where fear was replaced by wisdom. Students wrote essays about it. Journalists called it the Saro model. And whenever people asked, how did it happen? The answer was simple: with knowledge, compassion, and courage. Today, if you visit Saro, you will find children laughing in the playground, farmers walking freely in their fields, and tourists taking pictures of the green forests. You may even spot a python, not as a monster, but as part of nature's family. And on the wall of the community hall, these words are written in bold letters: "We chose life, not fear. We chose wisdom, not violence. And in that choice, we found our future." The people of Saro once lived in fear. Their nights were long, their dreams filled with shadows, but with courage, compassion, and wisdom, they transformed fear into strength, danger into opportunity, and despair into hope. Ibrahim Traoré taught them, in the world, a lesson. Real leadership is not about power, but about vision. Real change is not about destroying problems, but about creating better paths. And so, the message of Saro is simple, yet powerful. No challenge is too great when hearts unite. No darkness is too deep when knowledge lights the way. And no fear can survive when courage chooses hope.